Hello everyone, welcome back to Hills and Hollers Homestead. Homesteader Mike here, and yes, I changed the name of the channel because I want the focus to be more on homesteading at this point, because more people need to learn about that, and I don't want it to be as intimidating as some people take it, or as put off as by using the word prepping. Now, I don't have a problem with it personally, but the whole reason I started this channel was to share this stuff with folks, to get them interested and show them that, you know, anybody can pretty much do it as long as you have the drive to do it. I mean, I'm 50 years old, I got a full-time job, and we're doing it. So what I just, here's something I wanted to bring up here. Now, if you look at these monsters that we're raising here, the birth date or the hatch date of these chickens, look at the size of them things, was May the 2nd. And we're not going to process these chickens until I think July the 9th, the weekend of the 7th or 9th. I can't remember what date it falls on, but that'll be the weekend we do it. So it'll be about 9.5 weeks when we process these chickens. So they still got time and growing to go. We do have a couple hens in with them. We ordered all roosters because they tend to grow faster and bigger. We ended up with a few hens. But right now, I think if I figure out what we're going to end up with, we're probably going to have an average of about 6 to 7 pound carcass with each one of them. Now, I just looked at the USDA's report. Pasture raised poultry is currently going what they refer to as the easy or the simple average. Okay, it ranges anywhere from 3 something a pound all the way up to 12 something a pound, but the simple average is $8.32 a pound. So if you want to go buy a pasture raised chicken, and this is a whole chicken, okay, this isn't the breast. If you do specialty cuts on something like this, on one of these birds pasture raised like that, especially showing, you know, pasture raised, no soy, non GMO, you're looking, if I do specialty cuts, you're going to pay $10 minimum, $10, $11, $12 per pound for breast. You're going to pay $9 a pound for, you know, thighs and legs, and we know wings are like 3 something a pound right now. So, but it's better to buy the whole chicken because it's going to be cheaper in the end. Because then when you buy the whole chicken, now you've got a whole chicken. You're not buying just the breast, just the legs, just the thighs type of thing. So buy the whole chicken, learn how to cut it up. It's not difficult. I just sat here and figured up that if the simple average is $8.32 a pound, we have effectively raised these chickens, pasture raised, no soy, non GMO, for $3.26 a pound, give or take a couple cents. So if you want to do it, the cost savings are there. Of course, there is some price or some costs up front. We had to buy the chickens. You know, you buy them from the hatchery. You have to buy the feed. We went top end and went $956 for a ton of feed. I definitely won't be doing that on the next run, because I'm not going to pay that price for feed and then travel all that way to get it. I'm going to save the money. And, you know, it's been shown that even if they do eat soy or GMO, it doesn't cross over into the meat when you consume it. So, but it's just a cleaner attempt that we made than we've done so far. So $3.26 a pound, plus or minus a couple cents, versus $8.32 a pound. And we've got a healthy animal raised right here on our property, on our land. And yes, it is pasture raised, whether you want to argue about it or not. These structures only provide protection from predators and elements. That's it. They are moved to fresh grass every day. They are grazing on fresh grass. They are scratching in the dirt. They are eating bugs. Doing everything that they can do. But we have too many ground predators and too many aerial predators here to not do this. It would be completely irresponsible. We wouldn't have a daggone chicken left right now if we'd done it that way. And that's why I even put the electric netting up around it. That's just an extra layer of protection. We have coyotes, we have fox, we have raccoons, we have possum, we have skunk, we have hawks. So, you know, we're not playing games here. We're going to make this investment. So yes, we raised what's going right now for $8.32 a pound. We raised them for $3.26 a pound. We know where our animals are coming from, and we're going to be the ones to process them. Now, that's the other thing we did was, you know, we're members of the West Virginia Farmers Market Association, and being members has a perk that they have 2 trailers in the state that are set up as poultry processing trailers. It has a, you know, whole rack of kill cones with the trough. It's got the scalder, it's got the plucker, it's got the processing table, it's got the chill tank. And you can, by paying your yearly membership fees into the West Virginia Farmers Market Association, you have access to those trailers. You have to reserve them for your dates. It's a $45 fee to lease it, and then $15 a day to use it. The problem with that is we have to travel. The closest one to us is in Charleston. It's about 135 miles south of us. So we have to travel down, get the trailer, bring it back. There's 270 miles. Then we have to clean it up, use it, clean it, take it down, right back up, another 270 miles. With the price of fuel and diesel right now, I'm just not going to do it, okay? So we went ahead and bought a plucker, and we bought a scalder, and we bought the kill cones, and we are now going to use our own equipment in our own time, so we're not bound by, you know, reservations and you know, availability dates. And we will use our own equipment to process our own chickens. So if we want to do half one day and half the next day, we can do it that way. And we're not stuck with it, you know, more cost because we're keeping the trailer an extra day. So, and you know, we're not responsible for somebody else's equipment. So we went ahead and put that out there, and yes, I think we came out just about even in the cost. So what it would cost us if you figured with fuel down and back, yeah. So, all right. So now with that, we've decided we're going to do one more run of the Cornish cross. This is a great chicken to raise, even on a small scale, because the feed to weight ratio that you get, I mean, in 8 to 9.5 weeks, you're getting a great big chicken. But they consume a lot of feed, These are eating machines. All these daggone things do is eat. And matter of fact, I brought this one out here with me because so I brought him out here with me and just put a bunch of feed down here in front of him. And you can see how dirty he is, and that's just because the other chickens just kind of run over him. So I tuck him in a corner, and it keeps him away from it. I'm not going to take him to the house. His heart is probably not going to let him fully recover because they do not have strong hearts. Like I said, these are not a hardy animal. They are built to eat and grow, and that's it. But I got him out here letting him eat. I've put 3 handfuls of food down there, and he's eating them all. I'll put him back in the tractor here before I head back out. I come out and I moved them. I freshened up their water, filled their water up, and fed them again, because we are feeding them twice a day now and moving them to fresh grass every day. So the next run we're going to do, we'll do probably near the middle of September. And the reason I want to wait till later is because of the heat. I don't want to get them when it's really hot. And, you know, even though it stays really warm into September, October here, we've even had days up into Thanksgiving where it's been upwards of 70 degrees. So I'm not worried about them being affected by cold weather later in the season as much as I am about hot weather in the summer, because we lost a lot with last year's with the heat as well. So we're going to do one more run here at the end of the season, like I said, into September, or starting in middle third week of September, I think is about what we figured on. And then we'll process them in November before Thanksgiving. And like I said, we can do it with our own equipment at our own pace, even do it over a couple days. And that'll be the last run of Cornish cross we're going to do, probably for good. And the reason for that is I've been doing my research. Now these chickens, like I said, feed wise and everything like that, you're going to put out a lot of money in feed, especially with today's prices, and they're going to eat every bit of that feed. But you're going to end up with a very large carcass at the end in a very short period of time. So we've got the American breast. We've got 13 of them, and we are raising them. They're still brooding, and I have not brought them outside yet because I'm brooding them in a box in our basement, a big box, not a cardboard box either, to keep them safe, because they are a rare bird and they're hard to get and they're very expensive. But I started looking, and before the Cornish cross, the industry standard was the Delaware broiler. Now the plus side of the Delaware broiler is they grow pretty quick too, and they're a dual purpose bird. Not only do you get a good meat chicken out of them, but they lay, I think I said, upwards of 280 eggs a year. So now you've got that benefit there. So I went ahead and ordered 16 Delaware broilers. And what we're going to do is we're going to raise these separately. We're going to raise the breasts and the broilers separately. I'm going to keep them separated. We're going to raise them and see how they do. I'm not familiar with either bird, as in, you know, personally raising them or physically raising them. I know what I've read and watched videos on. So I want to raise each one up and see what we start getting. And then the prospect of crossbreeding in the future of those two may be maybe in the stones or in the bones rather, I guess, you know, the oracle. We may look into doing something like that just to kind of see what we end up with. We may end up with some kind of big Appalachian mountain monster, I don't know, or we may end up with something that's just completely useless. But I'd like to try something like that and see what we can do. The whole purpose of getting a dual purpose bird, a good quality dual purpose bird, is number one is that they're a good layer and they're a good meat bird, but we can reproduce them on the farm. Cornish cross we can't. So being able to reproduce our own birds on the farm and keep them, and we can separate them as we grow them and put all the roosters into one, you know what I mean, and raise the roosters to process in the meat, and the hens we can, you know, use to lay eggs and also incubate the eggs and stuff like that, and I'll rotate through my roosters and stuff just to see what we get. And I'm going to kind of try to keep it as not large scale but manageable. But those are the plans for the future. And like I said, I mean, you're looking at this right here. I mean, you're looking at 75 chickens. If every chicken comes out at 5 pounds carcass weight, you're looking at 375 pounds of chicken. 375 pounds of chicken, 375 pounds of pasture raised chicken that we raise for $3.26 a pound. So go figure. So homesteading and the ability to, you know, the life of homesteading, or living the homestead life and doing this kind of stuff, yes, there are some upfront costs. We had to pay to build, you know, to get the lumber for and the hardware for the chicken tractors. But we're going to need those. And those costs are recouped later with the product that we get, because I can't eat these tractors. I'm going to eat what's grown in them, but we can't eat the tractors. So they serve a purpose, and that is to be able to raise and keep our food safe from predation and stuff. So, and it protects our investment. So that's why I want to focus more on the homestead part of this, is because I want people to understand and see that, you know, I know there's still people are looking for homes, they're looking for land all over West Virginia and all over the place now. And, you know, I can't help you with that, but what we can do on this channel is help give you some information, kind of take down that intimidation factor a little bit. I'm going to tell you, it's not easy, it's not overly difficult, and it's not overly complicated, but I get up 6 o'clock every morning. As soon as I get up, I go and brush my teeth and start my coffee, let my dogs out, throw my boots on, I walk out, I let the egg layers loose, I feed and water them, I come out, I feed the pigs and make sure they got enough water. I come out here and I feed these guys, and then I come back out in the evening, and when I come out in the evening, I move them, I fill their water up, and I feed them. So I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not technically advanced, it's not overly difficult, but it does take time. And you need to figure in that if you are a frequent traveler and you like to go on vacations a lot and stuff like that, you're going to have somebody to pick up your slack while you're gone, because you can't leave these animals to fend for themselves, just like your pets. Okay, so that's why I want to focus on this, is just to show you guys that it can be done. You know, if you've got an acre or two, you can do all of this. I mean, you absolutely can do all this. And you think of the grass mowing, it's going to save you. You know, I said a couple videos back, I told my wife, if we come up the driveway one day, the whole right hand side and clear up on the hill there, I said, you know what, I'm so tired of cutting all this grass, trying to keep up with it. I said, I'm going to fence all that in. I said, I'm going to put a couple lambs in there. And she said, do it, I'm good with it. Okay. So that's a fall project, and the next spring we hope to get lambs in there. I just went over, had to go back to the sawmill today. I've actually changed the plans on this rabbit hutch like 5 times, and that's just the way my mind works. But I picked a spot, and I looked at the spot, and I thought this would be a pretty decent spot to do it. But then it was like full sun, and yeah, you don't want to put rabbits in full sun. You want to put them in shade as much as you can. So I picked a spot in the tree line, looked at it, didn't like it, looked at a couple other places, didn't like it, just racking my brain trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And then I went back to the one spot, and I just kind of turned the tractor, you know, turned the hutch around in my mind and stuff, and said, I can do it here. So that's what we're going to do. So I had to go over and get a couple more, had to get 4 more posts, 10-foot 4x4s, and a couple more 2x4s. And I got them all squared up and cut the length now. And tomorrow I'm going to treat them, and then once I'm done treating them, I'm going to start digging holes and setting posts and stuff. And we're going to get started on this rabbit tractor, because I got 4 rabbits, 2 breeding pairs that I've already bought, and he's awful nice to hold them for me. I'm going to have to give him a little bit extra money just to cover the feed costs to hold them until we can get them. And then I just got a Facebook friend reached out, and she's got a rabbitry over in Maryland and she's raising the Champagne d'Argent rabbit that I also want to raise as well. So she's got a litter that she just had, and she's going to have another litter ready to go in 2 weeks, and I want to get a breeding pair off of her, and that way I can have both the New Zealand, which the red, the white, New Zealand, and also the Champagne d'Argent, and breed those, and then also look at some crossbreeding and stuff to see what we end up with, because those are two of the quality rabbits that I've read about and everything. So and that's the whole purpose of the homesteading life, is be able to support ourselves and reproduce and produce what we need to eat here on the farm or on the homestead, however you want to look at it. But that's why I changed the name of it. That's going to be the focus. Yes, we're always going to cover preparedness. I'm always going to encourage you to be prepared. I'm always going to tell you to work against the system, to starve the system, because it's trying awful hard to starve you. But I'm going to end this video now because I'm going to get this one back in its crate, or in its tractor, and I'm going to head back to the house. I want you guys to, if you're looking to do this, reach out, send me a message, you know what I mean, leave me a comment, and I'll cover the topic if I can in a video. We rehomed the turkey. The guy that came over, he's a local guy, he came over to got the turkey. He's got 3 hens, and he lost his Tom, so Paxton is now a happy camper. He's got, since he lost his 1 mate, now he's got 3 mates. So he can put all that aggression that he had towards my rooster and all that craziness and focus on those 3 hens now. And that guy, he was like, he was very interested in this, asked me if he could friend request me on Facebook, because they want to do this in the future to, secure their food and stuff and be able to, provide for their own family. And he asked me, he said, can I friend request you on Facebook and ask you questions? And I'm like, absolutely. I said, if you want to come over, I'll show you anything that you want to, see. And I took him out here and I showed him all this. So that's what we need to do for each other. They're not going to teach us this in school. The system is not built to teach us how to defeat the system or how to live without the system. We're going to have to figure that out, and people have figured that out. Now we have to practice that knowledge and share it with each other, because they're not going to do that for us. So we need to build stronger communities. We need to build stronger homesteading communities. We need to build stronger self-sufficiency, self-reliance. That way, that system, when it falls, all we got to do is move our feet so the pieces don't land on us. So with that being said, keep working to starve that system. If you've thought about or desiring the homestead life, I'm going to tell you to start. Go. Just do it. Get your plans. Plan it out. Do your time in front of YouTube watching these homestead videos, these homestead channels, and learning the things and the steps. There's tons and tons and tons of them out there. But get your focus on it. It's a healthier lifestyle. It's a better lifestyle. Your food's going to taste better. You're going to feel better, and you're going to see, and I'm going to say your stress levels are going to go down, because it's a different kind of stress, because you stress about everything else then. But that's life, huh? Anyways, in the meantime, take care. God bless. Stay prepared.